Hello crafty friends, this is the Papered Chef here. In today's Brother ScanNCut tips and tricks tutorial, we're going to create mini boxes of sunshine. It is an alternative project that goes along with this month's Paper Pumpkin Kit, which is called Box of Sunshine. The Paper Pumpkin Kit comes with all the supplies to create your own box of sunshine, a large one, and 8 cards. This is my third video on this Paper Pumpkin Kit. In my first video, I showed you 24 projects you can create with this kit. In my second video, I showed you how to create little mini pizza boxes of sunshine. This is really tiny. You can see that's my thumb. This is just really tiny little box. And in this third video on this Paper Pumpkin Kit, let me just go to the home screen. I am showing you now how to create a mini paper pumpkin box of sunshine, like this one here. Okay, it'll make more sense when I change my camera angle, but I just wanted to start with this angle because it was giving me a good view of my screen. So what we're doing now is we're going to start by, now I'm going to show you how to do some cutting out stamped images later, but we're starting out right now by showing you how to create the shapes you need to decorate your mini paper pumpkin box. So we're going to go to pattern, we're going to go to shapes, and although we need a rectangle, which you could select there, I'm just going to select a square because that's what I like to do, and I like to click at this button here, which means that I can change the height and the width independently of each other. Okay, so 3.7 inches is how high we want them. And we want them to be 5.5 wide. Okay, I'm using inches. Okay, inches, there we go. Now, I need 3 of these because we need them for the top of our box. Let me just grab my shapes. Okay, here's my box. We need them for the top, like this. Right? We need them for the inside of my box. And it's, again, I'm going to change the angle of the camera in a minute. There's the inside. We need to cover the inside lid. We need to cover the bottom because this box is plain. We want to decorate it. That's why we have ScanNCut, to do all this fun stuff with paper crafting, right? So we would need 3 of these. One for the outside lid, one for the inside lid, and one for the bottom. But I've already pre-cut a bunch of these. So I'm just going to go ahead and do one. But do look at the notes of this video so you know how many you need. Now I'm going to move that off to the side a little. I don't like things up in the left corner too close to the corner because things tend to get caught up in my blade, especially with when I'm using my SDX model, but that's just me. Might not happen to you. Let's go ahead and add. We're going to go ahead and add another shape. We're going to make this into a rectangle again. 1 inch high. Now all the sides. Now we're doing one for the front of the box. We're doing the front piece. Okay, again, we'll get a better view in a minute, but I'm doing this rectangle here in the front. So we need that to be 1 by 5.65. Okay, you're going to notice that these are a little bit bigger, right? Remember, if you recall, the other ones were 5.5, so these are a little bit bigger to go around the sides of the boxes, a little bit bigger than the rectangles we made earlier. Again, you would need 3 of those, but we're not going to make 3 of those because I don't want to make you wait for them to cut, especially, and I don't need them. I only make things I actually need. Even if I'm teaching, I like to make things that are useful, that I actually need, and I don't need that many, I don't think. I think I have enough because I've been cutting these out for a long time. So we're going to select set. Now, I'm going to add, and by the way, that can go way closer to the top of the map, but regardless, we'll move it around in a minute if we want. Pattern. We're going to now make the little shape, the rectangle, for the side of the box here. Okay, then we're going to make that. It has to be 1 inch high as well. And change that. Make sure that button is there. This definitely should be review for some of you. This part is very basic part of my tutorial, but it gets more fun and more exciting in a little while. 1 inch high by 3.75, 3 3/4. And you would normally need 2 of those. You would need 2 of those because you have the sides of your box. But we're only going to just cut 1 because I have a lot of them. Now, if you were to make little candy wrappers right now for your Hershey Nuggets, like I like to do, you could use these 3.75 wrappers, but look, then you end up with all this extra little bit. So I like to, when I make my candy wrappers, I like to make them 1 by 3.25. And I'll also tell you about my candy wrappers because I do have candies in some of my boxes. All right, so now Let's move that up a little bit. That can go over there. All right, so we have enough shapes to just give you the idea. But I would normally have 2 of these, 3 of those, and 3 of those, plus whatever candy wrappers and things. Now, click OK. And now it's asking select. Do you want to cut? Do you want to draw, right? Emboss, foil? We're going to say cut. We want to cut because it's a scan and cut. I mostly do my cutting. And we're going to click start. I'm going to show you 2 more things while I have the screen up, and then we'll remove this from the mat. Okay, so I will tell you something else before I show you the 2 things. I'm using the STX 125. That means I have auto blade technology. It knows what blade depth to use. But if you're using a CM model, not an STX model, and you have to set the blade depth, then you want to set your blade depth to a blade depth of 3 when you're cutting designer series paper. Now I told you I was going to show you 2 things before I move this machine. The 2 things I want to show you are this. One, the first thing I want to show you is I'm going to hit back. And if you have a whole bunch of shapes, remember we needed 3 of those, 3 of those, 2 of those, and you have this template that you created, okay? In fact, I can go ahead and do it because we won't cut it. I'm just going to go to edit. I like to always add something extra to these tutorials. We're going to object to edit, plus we'll make 3 of those. We need how many of these? Object plus 3 of those. And let's put that one, and we put 2 of those. And you're saying, oh my gosh, Paper Chef, they're all over the place. They're all overlapping. I'm going to have to sit and do this and this and this. No, you don't. No, you don't have to do any of that stuff. You don't have to move these off of each other. You're going to click OK. And you're going to click on, it hit OK again for me, but I would have had to click OK twice. It just did it for me. Now you're going right here to this shapes, the one that looks like the shapes scattered all over the screen. This is called auto layout. Okay, auto layout. Okay, now I'm going to click the first one, which allows the machine to come up with the best way to put these, and it may have to turn them different directions. This one makes them all go up and down, either up or down, no other directions, and this one makes them all facing up. Well, these are rectangles, so I'm going to select the first version, which is put these any way you need to get them to fit. See that? It made sure none of them overlapped. Isn't that awesome? So now I have a template. Okay, this is awesome. I can make loads and loads of these mini pizza boxes. I'm going to click save, and it's asking, do you want to save it to your machine? Do you want to save it to the other choices were, do you want to save it to your Canvas workspace? Do you want to save it to your thumb drive? I just always save it to my machine. Okay, so once again, just so you saw that, it's asking if you want to save it to Canvas workspace or your thumb drive. I, of course, saved it to my machine. So you come back the next day. Now remember, I've already cut these, but say you come back the next day and you want to make another mini paper pumpkin box. You go to retrieve data, you go to your machine, you can retrieve it from your machine, Canvas workspace, the thumb drive, or the USB that goes directly to your computer. So you're going to select the first one. You want to select it, retrieve it from this machine. Go to the last page, and there's my template. Okay, that was the first thing I wanted to show you why I have this screen up. The next thing I wanted to show you is this. This kit, let's just go home again now. I hope you understand that. That's a reusable template. The next thing I want to show you is this kit is going to be available in other countries, but you might be using metric measurements. You can even get these mini paper pumpkin boxes in other countries. But if you want your ScanNCut to cut the lids precisely the way I just showed you, without having to convert your measurements, this is for just those people in other countries. Like we're the only ones, I think, in the US that still uses Imperial measurements. So I'm at the home screen. Go to the settings, and if you have yours set on millimeters, you can change it to inches, and then you can follow along with my tutorials a little better, because I get asked that a lot. That's how to change their units of measurement. Of course, US folks, do not change your units of measurements, because I'm already in inches. All right, so that's what I wanted to show you. So now we're going to do the first step of this. The first step, we're going to do the thing with the shapes and decorate our box. Let me turn on the light. We're going to start to decorate the mini paper pumpkin boxes, and then we'll do the stamping part in a minute. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to peel off, sorry, I shouldn't have done that. You got to see what I'm doing. Peel off the paper. Here, let me move that a little closer. See? I just peeled off my paper, and I'm going to use a spatula that came with the Brother ScanNCut, or you can bend your mat a little bit. Okay, you can bend your mat a little bit to kind of lift those up. My mat is pretty sticky because I recently stuck it, so I'm bending my mat a little bit. I'm not removing my mat because I'm going to be using it again in a minute, and I want to leave get the mat loaded because sometimes I'm just keeping it real. I have trouble loading my mat. And because of that, today it's one of those days and I'm not going to unload my mat because I think this is like the 10th time I tried to do this video, but hey, that's neither here nor there. All right, so here we go. We have these paper pumpkin bucks. I'm going to show you how to decorate it. We have different pieces of paper. This is from Artistry Blooms. And let's see where we want this. It's a box of sunshine. So we're going to take our little pieces and see, which one do we want on the outside of the box. Here's another piece. That one was a little bigger. Let's see. Here, we'll just use these ones. These are all the same size. There we go. So we'll put one of these on the inside and one of these on one of these down here. So before I adhere them, I'm going to go like this to my paper pumpkin box. And those of you that follow my channel, you can make your own boxes. I've shown you how to make boxes and websites called Template Maker, and the ScanNCut will cut boxes for you. It'll even create score lines, but they won't be of this quality. This is cardboard, food safe, shiny. Okay, so I just like the quality of these. So if I can buy a bunch of these, which I can, and they're not only inexpensive for my customers, but as a demonstrator, we get 20 to 25% off as well. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I'm not going to even cut these out myself. I'm just going to use the ones that I already have. They're really strong. Okay, so first you fold along all your score lines. Next thing you do is bend the sides in a little bit. Okay, you push it like that. Okay, now listen for the sound as I click. Click. Okay, you should have heard click. There we go. Click, click. When you hear that click, click, it means that it. And then I can pull those extra little pieces of cardboard off the bottom. Probably should have done that first. See, there's extra little pieces of cardboard right there. That's probably why I didn't get that clicking sound. There's an extra little piece of cardboard there. There we go. You'll hear the clicking sound better on this side. Pull those little pieces off. Then you hear the click. Push in. Okay. Hear that little click. Okay. So there we go. That's how to set up your box. So now we put those inside and inside. I think I'm going to make, let's see how I did the other one. This one, I have this on the outside. So I'm going to put this, for this paper box, I'll put this one on the outside. And then I'll put these two on the inside. Again, just all Artistry Blooms. Artistry Blooms, a couple of the coordinating colors, went with my sunshine theme. So that's what I liked about it. So now I got to tilt my camera again because I'm going to show you this new Seal Plus adhesive. It works pretty good. I'm almost done using the roll, see? So I hope it doesn't run out for me on this video, but you don't need that much of it. It's so strong. In fact, I tried to pull a card apart the next day because I kind of messed it up, and my whole card fell apart. It was so strong. So you see how I just need like a row of adhesive there, and I like this Seal Plus because it has little perforations in it and making it really easy to lift up, unlike some of our adhesives in the past. I was really surprised. I used this live on my video the other night, and it was like, whoa. Couldn't believe it worked, like on my first try. And then you just put the little piece of paper in there. Okay, we're going to do one for the top. So I'm just putting a couple rows of adhesive. Just a couple, maybe a little bit on the corner. Okay, and there we go. And we're going to put that on the inside of the paper pumpkin box. You could have done it while it's flat, but I find it's easier to do all these things while it's all put together. It just makes everything work better for me. Okay, so there we go. So that's the inside of the box. And now we will do the top. Let's see where we want this to be. The sun's going to be up there. So since the sun is light, we'll put the dark side up there, just for contrast. And now for the top of the box, I'm more careful about putting, and I did have to sometimes do this, I'm just keeping it real with my adhesive. I sometimes have to do this if I'm going too fast. See, now I just have to use my finger a little bit. But it's pretty easy and it glides out pretty easy, and it never really got stuck on me, and I'm almost done the whole roll. It's just that once in a while I had to use my finger to get a couple of these little notches to come out. So, but it never unraveled on me. I was honestly like expecting something different just from my past experience, but I'm happy that it's working very well. Delightfully happy. Okay, and then this one just goes I'm just putting that on the top of the box. Okay, so now we have the top of the box decorated, and we'll do the little bit with the sides. We'll get some of these colors. Now what I want to do for the sides is I want to cover the front, and then the front here, and then the back there. So I just use different pieces of, and I'm just putting one line of adhesive on them. Different pieces of this Follow Your Art Designer Series paper. And when you have leftovers of these, you just use them for your Hershey nuggets and things. Okay, we don't want that side. That side would be okay. We don't want the green side. But if you could do boxes, I mean, the green side would be great for St. Patrick's Day or something, right? Or another, another reason, just if you have something, if you need something green. Not Christmassy, because Christmassy we're going to have another bunch of awesome papers, because our holiday catalog's coming out soon. So I wouldn't call this a Christmas green. This is a Granny Apple green. But definitely Granny Apple green would look good on St. Patrick's Day, when you give someone a lucky box. I like to have themed boxes. I know, I'm not even Irish, but just luck of the Irish, right? Everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day. And you can just put little fun things that go with that rainbow and shamrock theme. Those little gold chocolate coins. But right now we're doing sunshine theme, because sunshine is what the world needs more of right now. All right, as I said, I had a lot of these extra pieces. Here we go. We're going to put this one on the side. Oh, notice what I did, because I was doing it fast. I did one here, and one in the back. That's why we made that template, right? So you can use the template over and over. I used to have to use a lot more adhesive when I used other brands, but this adhesive is so strong and it doesn't come off, the next day or anything, so it's just really good. So this is Seal Plus. I have honestly not tried the Seal yet. I did buy the Seal, but I haven't tried it yet. I've only tried the Seal Plus. So that's kind of close up there. Sorry, if maybe it's not in focus. There we go. So that's in focus. Let me zoom back out. Nope, I can't zoom back out. That's the angle of my camera. So now, let's show you so that's awesome already. I mean, you're like, hey, you can do that already. Get the paper pumpkin boxes. Okay, get your mini, these are my last two left. Get the mini paper pumpkin boxes. All right, so I'll have the product number in the description. So now let's do some stamping, right? We got all the pieces, that's all for that. Let's do this part of the Brother ScanNCut tutorial. So we are going to use the stamp set that came with the paper pumpkin kit. We're going to use, let's see. Oh no, we don't need these yet. We don't need those yet. Let's see, we need black. Good old black, and we need the Stampin' Block. So, of course, Stampin' Block, the first time you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, you'll get a Stampin' Block as your free welcome gift. But I don't know whatever happened to mine, but I just use Stampin' Up stamping blocks, which mine are a little bit thicker. So I put these stamp onto a stamping block, and now I'm going to use Memento Black ink, because that's my go-to black ink. Stamp the sun, or you can leave it upside down if you want, and stamp the sun, because the sun's kind of big, and that way you get good coverage. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to stamp the sun onto Daffodil Delight. I hope I don't, excuse me, I hope I don't keep coughing. Let me get some water. All right, I'm using Daffodil Delight cardstock. Let's put some more ink here in case it dried up while I was coughing. All right, so we'll do 2 for good measure, because, as you may know from watching me with the ScanNCut, not everything scans and cuts. So we're going to go ahead and do 2 of these, because at least one of them works. Our tutorial is a success. I don't always get 100% success rate. All right, so that's our 2 suns we need. So we were stamping just in black for that. So of course you can clean your stamp with the Stampin' Scrub tool I showed you before, but I don't have time for all that right now. So I'm just using a baby wipe real quick, because I need to use the stamp again to do something in yellow later. So I'm just using a baby wipe to get the black off so it dries. Okay, so what we need to do is what's called my pencil trick. The pencil trick is this. When you have a stamp that's where you can see the stamp here, these are not connected, okay? The ScanNCut would never scan this and cut this. It just can't, because it doesn't recognize this as one object. It would scan and cut a lot of little triangles, lots of little points in the swirly, and it would be a big hot mess. So you need to use the pencil trick. And you could either make this one object by putting little lines, to connect this to every circle, but that would take you forever. Or what I found was way easier, the way I did the pencil trick, I just took my pencil and I connected all these triangles at their bases like this. In other words, I made one big circle. I'll show you this closer up. It was very easy for me to erase it later. It was very easy for me to draw this. This circle connected my sun. It was just a very easy little trick because you want to make this one object or it will not scan in. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do it to both of the suns because if they both cut out, I'm happy. But if only one cuts out, I'm happy. Because all we need is one. All we need is love. No, all we need is a sun. All right. And the world needs more sunshine, obviously, right now. Okay, so here's what we did. We took what would have been not recognizable by the ScanNCut because it was all these bunch of little triangles, and we made this one object. It may look like a hot mess now, but it's going to scan in as one object if it does what it's supposed to. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this machine around. And we're going to put this piece of Daffodil Delight, because Daffodil Delight's a coordinating color, with a coordinating color that goes along with the Artistry Blooms Designer Series paper. Now the kit itself doesn't have Daffodil Delight as one of its colors, but I'm not using the colors in the kit. I'm just using my own colors because I'm using my own Designer Series paper, my own cardstock. And the colors sort of match the kit anyway, because I did use some of the elements from the kit and they match this pretty well. So Daffodil Delight, and you might be saying, well, why? What do you mean that's not in the kit? Well, the kit itself has a color called Crushed Curry in it, which is a little bit different than this kind of yellow I'm using. All right, so that's it. So you see it's laying on the mat. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my overhead light now so you can see the screen better of your ScanNCut screen. And now you want to do, we're going to scan stamped images. So earlier in this tutorial, you learned how to use built-in patterns that were in the machine, and that's when we went to pattern. Now we're going to do scan. And now after this tutorial, you're going to know how to use your machine. If you're new to the ScanNCut, you just learned how to use the built-in patterns, and now you're learning how to scan, and you're pretty much doing 90% of what you need to do in this machine. These are the things I do all the time. When you scan, you can select Direct Cut or Scan to Cut Data, but we're not saving any of this data right now. We're just going to use Direct Cut, because we're directly cutting out the suns. We're going to select Save It to the Machine. This is just a temporary storage area. Okay, we don't need color recognition mode. Black and white recognition mode is fine even though I'm using yellow or Daffodil Delight paper. Okay, but I can use the 12 by 6 area because my suns are at the top of the page. So I can use 12 by 6 instead of 12 by 12. But I can definitely use black and white because there's good contrast. And even though I'm using colored paper, I do have black ink. So black ink on colored paper still warrants black and white recognition mode. I'm going to go ahead and say scan, and it's going to scan in the suns and recognize them for me. So what am I doing? I'm making these suns right now. This is what we're doing. We're making the sun, and we're going to layer the sun. Here comes the sun. Okay, let's see. Okay. Now we're going to select, we're going to say okay. We're going to select the area. We're going to go in there and select the area because it selected all the dirt on the mat as well. We're going to click preview and see what happened. And if we have to ignore it, yep. It looks like some extra stuff got scanned in there. I like that both suns got selected, but we're going to say ignore object size because we got to get rid of that little bit. Okay, keep going. Don't ignore the very size of the object you're trying to scan in because let's just say that should get that little bit to go away. And if not, we'll delete it manually. But okay, so we have the suns got scanned in. Just let me show you what that looks like. See, the suns look good. I'm going to put a little bit of an outline distance around them. This is the outline distance. You have that option on your CM models as well. So I put 0.04 around my sun. That's what I like putting around, a little outline distance. It makes it look good. And we're going to select cut. Okay, so we put the outline distance. We ignored object size. We got rid of that stray bit. If not, I could have edited out the object size. We're going to select cut. Now, while it's cutting, I will tell you that if you have a CM model and you're trying to cut Stampin' Up cardstock, which this is, Stampin' Up cardstock is very high quality cardstock, dyed all the way through. You need to use a blade depth of 5. Earlier I told you a blade depth of 3, but that was for designer series paper. If you're cutting cardstock, you need to use a blade depth of 5. So what we're doing now is cutting out the Daffodil Delight Suns. And I will show you that I'm not going to remove my mat. Let's just say okay. And I'm going to just show you something. Oh, that's a heavy machine. I did put it on rollers, but slider things, but that didn't work for me. So remember where this was. Okay, so I'm putting something there to just remember where that was. This is the edge of my paper. There's a reason for that. I'm just putting that there as a marker for a second. Okay, pretty cool. We cut out our suns. We'll erase the stray bits in a minute. Let's do this. Let's get these off with the spatula. I'm getting off the suns. Now what I want to do, because we can, this is a really sticky mat. I mean, being a really sticky mat is not a bad problem, but you can't use your spatula if it's too sticky. You have to get under there and sort of bend your mat, or you'll end up sort of tearing your cardstock. Okay, so we have great suns, but we want to do another layer using this Mango Melody because we can. Okay, because we can. And we want it, I just put that there as a marker to make sure my paper was ever far enough. When I put this piece of Mango Melody down, I want to put it in the same area, so when I make this next layer, I'm not wasting it by putting it all the way over there, because my suns are going to cut out right there, right? And that way I'm not wasting it by putting it all over there. It doesn't really matter where you do this, but you just want to put the paper for your next layer somewhere where it's going to get cut. So what do I mean by next layer? Okay, so this is what I mean. We're going to put the background layer of the sun. My first cutout was 0.04 outline distance. My next cutout is going to be 0.08. I don't have to scan my stamped images again. It's already in the memory of my machine. That's the beauty of the ScanNCut. So we're just going to go back once, go back, and you're going to change your outline distance. This is how you make layers. This is one way. There's multiple ways of making layers. But one way is just to go back, and where you have the outline distance of 0.04, just change it to 0.08. And if you want an even bigger sun, change it to a higher outline distance. 0.08 is fine, and we click OK. And we cut it. And that's it. So that's how we make our layers, which we then pop up on dimensionals. So that's cutting. So all the things I need to get while it's doing that, I need to get my dimensionals, so we can finish this project off. That's just some foam adhesives. I'm just gonna wait till it's, because you know what? I'm afraid to move. Sometimes when things are cutting on my machine, I like hold it there. And I don't want to move, because if I move, everything's precariously placed. All right, it looks good though. It looks good. So here's what happened. We say okay, and then we're done that. We can actually now I'm not worried about unloading the mat. I can go ahead and show you how to unload the mat. So I'm gonna, actually here, this is the button here, unload the mat. So we're done with that. Now I could turn back on my light, show you the next steps, make some room, do some erasing. All right, so here's the mat, and I unloaded it, see? Now I'm not worried about it loading again because I'm done for the day. Turning on the light. So here's what we just did. Isn't that cool? We layered our sun. We just got to figure out where the points line up. That's the only little trick, is making sure the points line up. So I'm going to bend that over. All right, so we have our two suns and our two backgrounds. Pretty cool. I hope I didn't turn that one upside down. Let's see. We will find out. They should be the same. If they're not the same, it means I turned one upside down. I could have just flipped it. Definitely don't flip them upside down, because you'll have a heck of a, yeah, I didn't. That's good. You'll have a heck of a time lining them up again. That was my hardest thing, is because the points of the sun, I wanted them to line up in the right place. So we need to erase these suns, and then we need to pop them up on dimensionals. Okay, so my light is on. Let's get the eraser first. Put some of these little boxes of sunshine around so that we don't lose them. Because what happened the other night, I did this whole video, and my favorite project got buried, and I couldn't even show it. I mean, I couldn't even see it. Not that I couldn't show it. I couldn't even see it on my table. It was so buried. We need some little twine here. We need some twine from Forever Greenery. And I'm just looking for some dimensionals. Okay, here's some foam dimensionals. All right, so first thing you do is erase. I'm very unconventional and I do things in a sort of a messy way, but I get the job done. So I'm using, never use your red eraser to erase your marks. Why do you even need to erase your marks, you're wondering? Well, because you want to get back to the way the artist intended. Stampin' Up! Hires some incredible graphic artists, and if they didn't mean for there to be a connection between the little rays of the sun, then by all means we want to erase the pencil mark and have it disconnected. In fact, it's kind of like the style, right? Sort of this abstract, that abstract art. And it does take a lot to erase this pencil. I don't know why. Oh, because it's on cardstock. That's why. Because when I'm erasing it from Whisper White, regular cardstock, the thin, it comes off very easy. But when I'm erasing it from colored cardstock, and one of my viewers the other day said, why aren't you using an electric eraser? As if I was supposed to know what that was. But thank you for the tip. I mean, I didn't even know there was such a thing. But I don't know why I'm not using one, because I don't have one. But maybe I will get one. I think it's a good idea. They said you don't have to rub so hard and it won't mess up your paper. Well, my paper never gets messed up. And I don't really mind doing this, but I didn't know there was such a thing. All right, so there, I got rid of all the pencil marks. Now what I want to do is line up the sun. That's the hard part. Oh, look, that wasn't hard. Oh, no, that's not it. Meaning line up the sun, the points of the sun. There's a couple short ones, and when I was doing a lot of these, it was much easier. Is that it? Nope. You might be like, you've gone around 5 times. How can you not? Because sometimes if I turn the sun over, then I can never line it up until I turn it back over. But I don't think I did that this time. Okay. I'm just trying to cheat and use that one. Turn the beat around. Okay. Oops, and I still see, now that I've gone it through a full rotation, I saw that it needs another erasure. All right, but if you're doing a lot of these, it won't be so hard to line up the sun. And maybe I have it up, maybe I have it backwards, which I don't think I do. I'm just going to try this one. Maybe I'm just having a hard time. Maybe that was... All right, so some of these are shorter than others. Let's take the shortest one, for example. See how that one's the shortest one, and see if that would line up with the shortest one. Yes. I should have just done that in the first place. See, take your shortest one and line it up on next to your shortest one. All right, so that's easy. Once I just use common sense, which sometimes I'm lacking. All right, I'm putting a couple dimensionals back there. Okay, that's all I'm doing. And we're going to put that on the short sun here. Where'd it go? Now it was just lined up. There we go. See, it just adds so much more dimension having the sun pop up like that. All right, let's see if we can't use a wobble spring. I don't remember checking if it fit on this one. Oh no, it didn't fit on my wobbles. They already fit on that one, but I have small wobbles. So I think I'll put my sun on a small wobble. These are just little wobble springs that help pop up. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell these, by the way. I get them on Amazon, but I'll leave a link there to the little wobbles. And we'll put that on the box. Okay, so I just put the hard part of the wobble on the sun, is what I did. And then the translucent part of the wobble will touch the box. So let's make sure that's the front of the box, which it is. And we'll put the sun up there. Ha! I love it. I love it already. The sun's on a wobble. All right, good. Now we're going to do this little part. Brighten your day. Or no, we're going to do this little part. Sending sunshine. And we're going to put this on what's called the So Sentimental dies. Okay? So that's the So Sentimental dies. And I said I was going to clean my stamp, which I did. So this is called Daffodil Delight. By the way, I opened it up like that. They're very loose and loosey-goosey, easy to open. See? I'm going to do that. And I just have the sun. I'm putting Daffodil Delight on there. And I'm just putting the sun right onto this, oops, the stitched. Yeah, that's right. Right onto, making sure the stitching's on top. And I'm going to do that twice for you. Pretty cool. So I'm just putting the sun in Daffodil Delight in the background there. And then I'm going to stamp over it. And if you want to make it lighter, then you stamp off onto your mat first and then stamp onto it. Or you can just stamp the second time. That would work. I should get rid of all these eraser things, but eraser pieces of debris. Okay, that looks cool too. That was stamping off. Stamping off means I stamped onto something else first. Either way will work. You just want a little bit of a sun in the background there. And then you want to take your Sending Sunshine. So we're still using that same stamp set, right? We're using this stamp set from the Paper Pumpkin Kit. Let's see. Sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. All right, we're putting this one like that. So we're using the word sunshine and we're putting it like there. So you always kind of line it up first. Make sure it fits on whatever sort of sentiment you're using. And let me tilt this camera a little bit because of the glare. Actually, I'll tilt it up because I see a bit of a glare. And so don't worry that your stamps get stained. Mine always get stained. That's kind of the nature of having a photopolymer stamp. I always make sure I stamp it onto my mat first to make sure I'm stamping it well. Because the first couple times you use it, it's make sure that you get a good stamp before you actually use it on your Whisper White cardstock. There we go. Finally got a good one. See that? Finally got a good one, so now I'll use it on my Whisper White. Whisper White has good ink absorption, by the way. So I'm standing above it, and I'm doing two in case I mess up one. Because once you have to put the words Sending and Sunshine. And I'm just doing two because I don't want to mess up this project, right? I want to finish the whole project. I don't usually do the whole project with my viewers, but I wanted to do this whole project because it's a Paper Pumpkin Kit. Now, usually when I'm doing my scan and cut tutorials, I don't show you like the stamping part or the whole thing because of time. But this one, I wanted to show you the whole thing because it's an alternate Paper Pumpkin project, and you can make it this month with your kit. All right, so we got the sunshine. Now we need the word sending. Or you could even use hello sunshine. But since it's a little mini Paper Pumpkin box, I think Sending Sunshine works better. So I put sending onto my little stamping block. Again, you just sort of test it out. You know, make sure it stamps well. Yep, it's working. Stamp it a few times. Good ink. I got good ink absorption. So put the sending right in there under the sun, under the round part of the sun. And I did a bunch of these. I used them for cards. I used them for a bunch of things. We'll just do another one. This is kind of how I craft. I do things like mass production, where I just stamp, then I do the assemble. Let's see which one's better. This one's better. That one just looks a little crisper. But what do I know? I can barely see. My reading glasses. Now we're going to put a couple dimensionals back there. And then we need the cute little twine, but of course we're going to fill it with sunshine. And I used the cute little twine from the Forever Greenery Suite. And this twine here. It was from the Trim Combo Pack. See, I used all that up already. So the gold really accented the project. Then you can decorate the inside as well, but you get the idea. You can put some lemons in there from the kit, other things like that. Okay, so let's show you what's in the boxes. Let me show you, we'll put a couple things in ours, and then I'm going to show you what I have in the other ones. So, a couple things in ours. You could put little tea, okay, and you'd use orange and yellow things. We can put our little hand sanitizer, and I have some that are yellow. We can put our little chocolates, but of course we would wrap our chocolates in our designer series paper first. We can put little ginger candies and other candies. And we can put like in the box itself, the bigger box that comes with this month's Paper Pumpkin Kit, the yellow box. I have a lot of cool things that fit in there that didn't necessarily fit in the smaller mini boxes, but some of those things were nail files and cute little yellow pens and things like that. But in this one, you can put sticky notes, they're yellow, and all kinds of stuff. So let me show you what's in my other boxes of sunshine. So again, you're just trying to find things that are yellow, orange, that kind of thing. You know, just lots of fun. You're sending someone sunshine. So I'm going to open these 3 boxes to show you what's in them. They might not be the same as when I did my Paper Pumpkin Alternative Kit project, The twine, by the way, you have to wrap it around a few times before you tie it up. And I would recommend at the bottom of this twine, because it comes unraveled really easily, is to make some knots, because this twine really comes unraveled, which is nice at the end, but make a knot there so that it doesn't keep unraveling all the way. But that's the gold trim to wrap your box in. All right, so let's see what's in this box of sunshine. Sending sunshine, a little something to brighten your day. Okay, so that's a little extra a stamp that came in the stamp set. You are my sunshine. This is a little Memories and More note card from the Flowers for Every Season suite. Some lemonade. Okay, some Ricola cough drops. These are yellow. Okay, just yellow things. Sunshine is just you sending someone yellow things. Okay, these are lemon head treats. And another alternative project I made with the Box of Sunshine kit. Lemon head treats. And sticky notes. And tea. There's one of the wrapped Hershey nuggets I told you about. Let's see what else. A highlighter. Okay, so lots of fun stuff. Let's see what's in this one. This is some other Daffodil Delight ribbon I had. A little something to brighten your day. This is another alternative paper pumpkin project. Okay, we have some hand sanitizer. Pineapple colada hand sanitizer, which was yellow. I put that in a bag now because I didn't want it to leak. Lemonade. Ricola. Mini Tic Tacs, which I'm going to be having available probably when I do the holiday catalog paper share next month or the month after. I'm going to have those available on my store. Not my Stampin' Up store. I have lots of stores. Okay, these are Hershey Nuggets. And by the way, this paper here, this one's Artistry Blooms, but this paper's Playing with Patterns. I kind of mixed it up there because I was trying to just find anything I had with yellow. Cozy Chamomile Herbal Tea. And let's see what's in this one. So I hope you got lots of ideas and inspiration for what you can do with your paper pumpkin kits and how you can use your ScanNCut to help you send sunshine to others to brighten their day. So here's some more hand sanitizer, ginger candy, and some Ricola. So that's all for now. This is the Papered Chef. I hope you enjoyed this project. Thank you.